Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to give my reading wrap up for the week of July 28th through August 3rd. I didn't complete any books this week, so I won't have any reviews. I did read parts of 4 books, so I'm going to talk briefly about those 4 books. I'm also going to talk briefly about a new book that I got. I'm going to talk briefly and show the current Wobble I'm working on, and I'll maybe talk about some other events that occurred in my week. First, I'm going to talk about the books that I read part of this week. The first 2 are books that I had started previous to the week and continued reading some this week. The first is The First Physical Culturist, Ancient Greek Athletics Training and Competition by Dr. Alex Daulat. I talked about this book in my past video, but it is quite interesting, especially as I'm reading the Olympics. The current chapter I'm reading talks about current training methods and understanding of training in athletics. And I believe the next chapter is going to compare that to what the ancient Greeks did. I would have never realized how much knowledge and how scientific, even if some of their views weren't totally valid, that was done by the ancient Greeks in their training of athletics, and even the fact there were trainers. I don't know if I would have ever realized that or thought that there were. The second book I read this week, which also, like with the first book I started in a previous week, is The Hidden Language of Cats, How They Have Us at Meow by Sarah Brown. I haven't got too much further in this book, but it is interesting. Talk maybe more when I review it, but some of the things that people do to interact with their cats and try to control them can have the opposite effect. So it's kind of interesting. I started 2 books this week. The first is Rocannon's World by Ursula K. Le Guin. It's actually the first book by Ursula K. Le Guin. I'm listening to the audiobook. When I was a kid, sci-fi was my genre. And I read the giants of the field, Asimov, Heinlein, Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Herbert. And I think I probably read Ursula K. Le Guin because she was a giant too, but I'm not positive. So this may be the first book that I read from her. I'm enjoying it so far. It's not particularly a long audiobook. It's about 5.5 hours. I got the idea for this book from Pat at Book Chat by Pat 8668. She was part of an event called Rocket Summer, where each week they read books from decades of what I guess would be called the golden age of science fiction, perhaps 50s, 60s, 40s, maybe 70s, I'm not sure. This was one of the books from the 60s. And another book I started this week is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is a book I got a while back at Barnes & Noble. I've seen a bunch of people talk about it. It was a recent video by John at DisquietandDragons -LH3ZM that got me thinking of this book again. So I just picked it up the last day or 2. Had a bit of trouble with the writing style at first. I'm not even totally sure why, but I think maybe what it is like a lot of world building is packed into what is a pretty short book. Because I did find myself kind of rereading stuff, which is something I prefer not to do. But I reached a point where I just kind of went with it. And I am quite enjoying it. There is one new book I got, and that is The Travel Book, A Journal Through Every Country in the World. It's something my sister had, and she tried reading it and realized it wasn't for her. So I figured, I'll take it and give it a shot. It looks like it's written for kids, but it could still be quite informative, given some little details about the various countries in the world. I'm at least going to start reading it at some point and see what I think about it. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Wobble I'm working on. It is Emilio the Turtle. I really didn't get that much further on it than I had last week. I had completed the head, but I'm working on the body now. I forgot to mention that the major reason I haven't read that much this past week and why I haven't got far in the Wobbles. I'm just watching a lot of the Olympics. That's taken a lot of my time, so I just haven't been able to do those other things as much as I normally do. And I'm also not watching Booktuber and other YouTube videos as much as I do. The older I get, the more I'm aware that the Olympics are only every 4 years, well, the summer every 4 years and the winter every 4 years. So there's not that many of them left, so I try to take advantage of them. So I've been watching them a lot, quite enjoying them. I read during the commercials, but that still doesn't give me all that much reading time. Other than that in my life, I had a recent dental visit, and I do need to get some work done on one of my, I have some cracks in one of my teeth. And some of my teeth, the bottoms of them are kind of worn down, so they have to be filled in some. So I have 6 upcoming dental appointments, which I'm not particularly happy about, but it is what it is. It's not because my teeth haven't been taken care of, they have. It's just, I guess you reach a certain age and things start to wear out on you. The other thing I want to mention is that I am going to do a separate series unrelated to my book videos. I'm just going to give kind of like a musical history of my life through the various decades. Albums that I liked and bands that I liked and concerts that I went to, how my musical journey started, and how it went along various points of the journey. It's not going to be a replacement of the book videos, it's going to be in addition to them, but I hope to have the first one out in the not too distant future. If you're interested in knowing how your reading week went, please reply in the comments if you'd like to let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos. I hope you have a great reading week and a great week in general.